That's what I'm trying to get to, because my biggest thing is when it comes to people is we should be okay telling them, hey, it's not that good, and they should accept it.
Right. Here's the thing. I didn't finish his last one, the one that's on Netflix, but the one before that, I could tell that his I want to say his subject matter was getting I don't know if it was redundant or I think there was a level of like, and I think that this happens all the time, right? It's like there's a level of like we know what to expect, so it's kind of like the delivery doesn't have as much punch because we kind of know how you're going to. We see you so much,
exactly,
right?
Exactly,
and I think that that's what he's suffering from when it comes to
his stand up and whatnot.
Because right when quarantine started, right, he went on and he was live, and he was just telling stories. He was just telling funny stories that had happened in his life, right?
Exactly,
The thing about it is, right, that's number one, that's key to a lot of things. That's key to brand, that's key to just a lot like storytelling, right? But that his ability to do so transferred differently there. And I don't know if it was because it was a digital thing, but it was very intimate, which is what he wanted this to kind of be.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, he almost should have done something that was like all digital, not even live. And I get it because of the idea of who you are. There has to almost be a live audience. Otherwise, where's the laugh?
Where's
that audio coming from? Right, you need that response. So I understand that. But I'm almost like, could it have been on a Zoom? Could it have been on a more, right? Like they just did.
Were they pushed in the laugh maybe on a live track, even if it was low, just so everybody else laughs with it?
Something, right? Like they did it for the NBA. Right, where they had the and it was pretty on point. It was actually pretty accurate. Like,
for a fact.
They did a really good job with that. So, you know what I mean? I think that they could definitely, and I think that that's what he's suffering from. It's just overexposure.
Nah, because I just like to start a podcast off just with a random conversation.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be like, okay, let's start.
Nah, that's brilliant. I love that, bro.
We just flow into it.
I love that.
I would just flow into it. But yeah, we back with another episode of the FFT podcast. You got your host, Cool Dex, Smoothie Dex, Driver Dex, International Dex, man. KC, we've been grinding.
Yeah, man.
We've been grinding. Two-man band today. Hey, definitely a two-man band. We in a different location.
You on the go. You on the go today.
My boy hit me, said, yo, you think you can make it this time? I said, hell yes. Yes. Hey, I packed up. I went home at lunch. Hey, I said, look, man, I'm packing all my bags. Went home again, showered. Hey, I said, hey, I beat him here, and he live up here.
Beat me here. He's like, yo, it looked like, I was like, bro, I'm pulling up. Like, what you mean? It looked like
I said I'm here, like, because once again I tell people, because we reaching like 8 months we've been doing this podcast, and I always say consistency with a purpose. You can be consistent all day long,
100%,
but you need an actual purpose to why you're being consistent.
100%.
You know,
I couldn't agree with that more.
Like that's really what it is. So, but yeah, we're not here today by ourselves. So please introduce yourself.
Yes,
introduce your businesses, where you came from, how you started. Like, just this is based on first time experiences. So start from the beginning.
So I.
he's like it's a lot.
Where do I go?
No. And the crazy thing is, right, this is exactly what I was about to say, and it rings so true, right? I hate bios. And so that's literally how I want everything to start. Like, my Clubhouse bio says I hate bios. Like, I literally
we gonna get in the Clubhouse too.
Yeah. But like I would say that more publicly known as DJ Dark Kent.
Okay.
More recently known as Kent King.
Okay.
Which is a transitional moniker of who I am, I guess, right? Because that's just another name for
nice little pivot.
A nice. Here's the thing, right? Everything. I feel like a lot of things need to graduate.
Yeah.
Right. And I also think that
I also think that
most people are not one-trick ponies. Like, most people have areas of artistic expression in which they could dominate or at least excel in a multitude of spaces, right? When you look at some of these people who are creatives and you see some of the other things that they do, that's kind of not by accident. Like, when you see people who are great with the music industry and then they're also very tasteful in fashion and things, that's like not by accident, and it's not just because they have the money and things like that. No, that's actually because their brain, or they exercise their brain in a certain way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
So I said all that to say, like, when it comes to DJing and what I guess I wouldn't even know what the title transitioning into. I wouldn't know, because it's simply put, King is a value adder. Right, that's all I want to do, is add as much value into every space.
I like that.
That I possibly
that's dope,
can.
because a lot of people are trying to take your value.
100%.
A lot of people.
100%. So transitioning from DJ to value adder to me is not too far-fetched, because I add value in a different capacity, right? As a DJ, my job is to add value, so much value that, like, you forget about the bad that happened last week, or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the
for them
case
couple
may be.
hours when you hear that music,
all your problems will go away.
For them couple
Take
hours,
my pain away.
Yes. I am delivering a symphony of energy that is commanding you to move, to dance, to think, to be in an entirely different sense. And so that's what I'm trying to do with everything else that I'm doing here after DJing. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. The pandemic just really hyper accelerated my ability to do it. And then the loss of someone who I felt this world really deserved, Lionel, my guy, he used to come here. He actually worked. Well, he was very good friends with someone who worked here.
Okay.
They were best friends, so he was here quite often, and he was just a very good spirit, and he was always positive. And whenever he would walk in here, he would always sit down and just be like, bro, keep doing what you doing, bro. Like, yo, I love what you doing. Yo, keep doing it. And we always had really dope talks. And then for the world to lose him, it didn't sit right with my spirit, and I felt like he was always just telling me, like, yo, keep going harder.
Yep.
He's still saying that, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
So, you know, those two situations really kind of hyper accelerated my growth to just really want to add as much value as fast as possible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I heard Derek Grace, DGT, Derek Grace 2. He's another motivational speaker. I would say he's a brilliant individual. He's very different. He's very unique. Let me say this: he's more of an entrepreneur and another value adder than he is a motivational speaker, because he's actually
this is one of those multi-talents, like you were saying.
Yes. But he's more so giving knowledge than he is motivation. So he's putting people on to a lot of game and whatnot. But he looks different. He's got tattoos on his face and whatnot.
Really?
Got dreads.
So it's the appearance that's gonna make you think like, who is this guy?
But here's the thing, right? Because he adds so much value, people have gotten past all that. So that's really why I really respect him. But one of the things that he said was, he was like, I was talking to my people and they wasn't getting it until I started talking to them like it was urgent. And he was like, my people need a sense of urgency. And I was like, you know what? I'm being too passive. And how disrespectful of me not to run full-fledged, right? Okay. And add as much value as possible immediately, right? It's disrespectful to everything that I've been awarded in life. I feel like as a person,
that's a very profound thing to be thinking, man.
Bro, that's how I feel.
And to build off that, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm passive in the sense where I don't want to ask too much of people or say, hey, can you do this? Versus, no, I need, like, can you really do this? I need you here right now. Like, it'll be worth your while, not just mine as well. So damn, I can take some advice from that. Like, for real, it's good for me to hear that, because it's really like, damn, like, our people want that from us. But once again, we're just being too passive and not telling them, expressing how we feel, because we feel like, oh, they don't want to do it, or they really, and majority of the time, our friends want to do it. We're just, like you said, we're not asking them, or we give them that time frame of doing what you want,
or we expect them to come to us.
I mean, here's the thing. I think when it comes to friends, right? Like, I found that that's something that it's going to take when your friends start supporting you for what it is that you truly do, and like you're pivoting from something. When they start to, right? By the time that they start to, is when they really see other people do it. Right, and that's like just like everything, right? People in music never really understand why it's like home supports you last when they see the rest of the, and it's just because perception.
Yeah,
right? We know you as something else.
Exactly.
I know you from. I have deep rooted memories of you from a different perspective.
Yes.
So for me to
drop
be
that.
Right, to drop and see you in a different image, I can only do that through a multitude of other people's perspectives.
Exactly.
Because now I'm like, oh, they all see you like this.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Let me turn around.
You kind of is like that, ain't you?
Turn it to the side a little.
Oh, snap, I ain't even realize. Look at you, how you done became like that. First you was like this, now you like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, and it's real life crazy because I always say this story where it's like, I got friends and they say, I don't listen to the podcast. And I'm just like, but I accept it because they say I still support it.
Right.
I still put it out. I still share it. I still tell people about it. And I'm okay with that because they know me. Like you said, they know who I am. So when they see me doing this, it's just like,
see the value. It's
like, what? Like I always tell people, I'm the quiet one around my friends. So they're like, how the hell are you doing a podcast? Be quiet.
Right.
But it's like, they see this other side of me. Then they see other people appreciating me. They see other support that's coming just not from home. And it's just like, oh wait, let me see what Dex got going on for real. So I see that 100%, 1,000%.
But my bad, that was my long-winded intro. DJ Dark Kent, aka Kent King. That's in a nutshell. That's where we at.
So like I said, what year did it start where you realized you want to just jump out on your own and just do your own thing?
As far as just being an entrepreneur,
mine is where we at right now. Just you, that general idea. What year was it?
I think I would have to check back on Instagram, right, and look back to when was the last time that I was actually employed, and I think it was around 2013 or 2014.
So you've been out here for a little minute.
Yeah. And I was working at AT&T, and it's a great gig. I was in the city, and I'll tell you when it changed. So I was still DJing at the time, right? That I was working in the city. I was working at AT&T. Was in my mid-20s. I was done with school, and I'm getting decent bread, right? Like I had the motorcycle, the BMW. I was doing all right.
Good for yourself.
AT&T was like, it's commission plus it's like good hourly. I'm in the city, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm right in right. I'm actually in NoHo, which is north of Soho, right in New York, and so I'm right by NYU, and so. Being by NYU, I was able to benefit from a lot of international students or whatnot. So it was a great little hustle.
Spend money.
It was a great little hustle. I was making good money, and to be honest with you, that was what they sold me, right, in exchange for my dreams. Because I was in a position where it was like, if I wanted to go to the Louis store and buy a little, I did one time. I spent like $1,400 in there because they was like, they wasn't trying to give me no service. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna show y'all. I got $1,400. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying?
It was being young. Once again.
Yeah. Well, it was just, there's a deeply rooted identity in peacocking. And
what you mean peacocking?
Peacocking is basically showing all your feathers, right? It's like expressing,
I like that.
And it stems from ego. It stems from like what you think other people think about you, right? Because that's what your ego is saying. Okay. So in that store, in that moment, I'm saying they think I'm broke. Gonna show them with $1,400. Like that was I'm showing you I want this and that and that.
I got it.
All right, like. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a moment, but again, that having the ability to do that, right, from AT&T, they sold me, right? I was like, I'll give up a whole lot of my time.
Yes, time.
A whole lot of my time. Traveling from New Brunswick to New York, right? I had a gym membership in New York plus one in New Jersey. I was just like
doing a lot.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And so the moment when I sat back and realized what was really going on, it was twofold. The first moment was DJ Camilo walked into the store. And I am huge fan of Camilo as far as the artwork, just the art of DJing is concerned, his performance and his dedication to the craft. Right, he's on radio, then he's in clubs, then he's like, he's really dedicated to the craft, and he's also a family man from what I know. Okay. And so I really respect him in the art form. And so he walked in and didn't know who I was because I'm a worker, right? I'm an AT&T guy. I got a name tag on, and I'm like, hey, that's who you are. How can I help you? And so that moment right there, because he was somebody who I respected, and I wasn't in a position to really introduce myself, right?
You wanted to.
The way I wanted to. It kind of set that fire inside of me that matched that saying to say, yo, hustle until, right, your rivals or your idols or your rivals.
Okay.
And so it really put me in a position to be like, listen, the next time we meet, not only are you going to know who I am, right? But you're actually going to want conversation with me. And on my life, that's exactly what happened. Right? The next time we met, we were in Miami in the airport, and he was tracking me down like, yo, Ken, what's up?
That's fire.
And so it's like, bro, and that's love.
That's love.
Exactly.
Too,
it's a good feeling. It's a good
100%,
feeling.
100%. But the other time was, so I was still DJing, right? Of course, because again, I wanted Camilo to know me, but I wasn't 100% committed. I hadn't taken a leap of faith. And one of the things that happened, and this is always like, if a man is wise enough to allow divine feminine energy to muse him, he can do a lot of things. And so my brother, this is my business partner, his girlfriend was having a conversation with him, because he's my business partner and he's like managing me in my career. Okay. So of course you pillow talking with your bae, right? Like, listen, this is what we got going
If we pillow talking for good, that's not a bad thing. People if you're doing the negative, then I get it. But
that's the purpose of pillow talk. At that point, is like, help me ease my mind, give me a new perspective. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, so he's journaling with her and just getting it off, and she said something so simple but yet profound, which was like, he's either going to be the DJ that works at AT&T or he's going to be the DJ that used to work at AT&T. And I was like, oh, what a shot in my heart. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it stung, right? I was like, ugh. But once I was, and I think it helped because it was coming from my brother, right? She didn't say
real
it
one
to
for
me.
telling you that.
Oh yeah, that's why that's my brother, right? That's why that's my brother, because he delivered it in a sense that, and we have that relationship to the point where it's like, bro, I know that you love me enough that it's really nothing that you can say that could really hurt me. Even no matter how much it stings, I know that you want greatness for me.
I just want better.
Right. So he delivered it in the sense where it stung. Right? He made that's my brother, so we got that relationship. I'm gonna sting you, you gonna sting me back, right? And so he stung me, but it sat, and it was like, oh nah, I gotta pick a route.
It jolted you.
Yeah.
It jolted
you.
And so I think that one of the main reasons why I was able to even hear that, and I think that the time that he delivered it was so like I was saying, I was working at AT&T. I was doing pretty good for myself. I bought a motorcycle. And I was out here living my best life, young dude with a bike. And didn't even have my license. I learned how to ride a motorcycle off of YouTube.
Fucking YouTube, man.
Fucking
YouTube, yeah.
Hop on it.
And I was riding back and forth from New Jersey to New York. I was riding.
You playing with fire right there.
Yeah.
Playing with fire. Going to New York on a bike?
On a bike.
And so, oddly enough, the gentleman who just called, right, while you guys were here that I was talking to, I got into a motorcycle accident with him in New York.
Yo, how did that go about? How did you end up here? Hey, yo, that's like crazy, yo. Yeah. Long story short.
Yeah. So he had a bike. I had my bike. We were both working at AT&T, and we just went for a ride, and I ended up, macking out my bike, and I hit a guardrail pretty much. I was we were like racing. And I hit a guard. I should have been gone, like, as I was doing.
Really? Like, I was gonna say, how did that feel? Yeah. Like your body.
Adrenaline, bro. Adrenaline is the only thing that I could say. Adrenaline is real.
Yeah,
but the one thing that it showed me is the power of the mind. Because the adrenaline comes from your mental, right? That's what shoots that in. Because I literally had just ran into a guardrail at like 86, 87 miles an hour.
What?
And yeah, because like on a turn, I had just gotten new tires. I didn't do my first 100 miles in them. I was getting busy. We were up somewhere, and there was like sand and like gravel. Because I was like going around him in an area where I wasn't familiar.
I saw the tape.
And and ended up just like about to fishtail, and instead of really committing more to the turn, I kind of panicked, hit the wobble, and then ended up boom straight into the guardrail. But as soon as it happened, I jumped up. Like as soon as it happened, I literally jumped up, and I was like, my bike, like that's
the first shit. That's your first thought. That's your first thought. You like fuck how I feel. I don't care about nothing. It's my bike. Yo, it's my bike.
That's still my baby. Like, that's still my heart, yo. Like low key, high key. I'm still a little hurt behind losing that bike, man.
Hey, look,
that was my baby.
Yo, I was the same way when I crashed my car. Yo, as soon as I hit the wall, I'm like, oh, my car, man. Yes. I just got a transmission put in here.
Oh, smacking the airbag out your face. You like,
I'm mad. Yo. So I know how it is. So
and so, well, I went to the hospital.
Oh yeah, okay.
And as I'm leaving the hospital, and I'm getting a ride back for me to be able to come to New Jersey, because they determined that everything was pretty much okay. They tried to put me on crutches because I had some light bruises, scrapes. I was pretty much messed up, but nothing was broken.
Thank God,
nothing was broken. And so at the time, I just decided, let me call my brother. That's my best friend. That's my guy. That's the closest, closest person. I got to just kind of let him know. I just had a brush with death.
Exactly.
And because he's my brother, that was when he told me that, like, yo, you either going to be the DJ that works at AT&T or the DJ that used to work at AT&T. Because I had just had a near-death experience. So he like, bro, you out here living like as if you excelled and did everything that you supposed to do. That's literally the like those words that I heard him say. Like, you out here living like you already did everything you supposed to do. And it was so crazy that the young ladies who came, they worked with me, and they heard about it. They came to the hospital, picked me up, and they heard him going in on me on the phone. And they're like, oh my God.
Like what the hell?
Just were in an accident. He's so mean. And I'm like, hey, no. I need to hear this right now.
For real though.
And yeah, that was when he delivered it. And because of that, I immediately derived a plan to stop exchanging my time at AT&T for my dreams. And so
took that leap of faith, like people say.
Well, I derived a plan.
Okay,
right? So I didn't just
leave it up to faith.
Yeah, right. It's still a leap of faith, but it's like you want to make sure that you
knew what you were doing.
Yes, yeah. It's not even that. No, I definitely didn't know what I was doing at all. I had a plan.
Yeah.
I had a plan. It's not that I knew what I was doing. I just wasn't straight winging it.
Okay,
there's a difference between, like, you know,
some people just thug it out.
Because like think about it like this, right? When you are trying to do something new, you don't know what you're doing, no matter what it is, because it's your first time doing it.
Didn't know what I was doing either.
Right?
Had no idea.
You know what I'm saying? And I heard a quote the other day that said, the only thing in today's world that you cannot Google right now is experience.
Ha.
Right? That's the only real thing that you can't Google is experience. It's like how to actually.
That's real.
Yeah, like you have to do it. So no matter what it is that we're talking about, you're going to have to put that work in, and you're going to have that initial first experience. And so it's just better to do it with a plan.
Yeah.
And that was my whole thing. It was like, yo, this is my first time really trying to be a full-time entrepreneur. I've been trying to do my thing. But if I'm going to do something like this, if I'm going to take this leap of faith, I'm actually going to do it with a plan. And so that was really just the difference. And, I think in what led me to success was that I had a plan. I had a goal, and I took the right amount of time to actually enact it, right? Like today's problem is we live in a microwave society.
Yes.
Where everything happens fast.
Looking for microwave blessings.
And so everybody wants to be a millionaire by 25.
It's not like that.
Because they think that life is over at 50.
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
And it's like, yo, at 30-something, I'll say at 28-ish, I realized, holy, you don't know. How old are you?
I just turned 29.
I was just
literally
about to say,
on the 25th.
Looking at yourself right now.
Literally. So
I'm 33.
So no, I feel what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. We right where you.
I feel what you're saying.
At that age, for me, I was realizing, right, even with all my success, I had businesses and all of the stuff, and done amazing things in my life, but I was still realizing just life in and of itself is so much more than just, right, your accomplishments in and of that.
Yeah.
Life is about engagement and interaction. That's why social media is so attractive. It's because it gives us engagement and interaction.
Yes. It's a great tool.
100%.
It's a great tool.
100%. But you can't trade it for this.
No.
For
never in a million
exchange
years.
of energy, for
Physical
actual
contact.
Yeah. And so that's why things like this will forever thrive and survive. But that's just something that really kind of affects our communication in today's world, is that we have such a microwave society.
Yes.
So the way that we communicate things, right, anything that it is, like success, failure, whatever, we always just think that it's going to be done in a very
quick manner,
fast-paced manner.
And so people don't want to take the time to actually derive a plan and then execute a plan. And that was what I did. I derived a plan, right? Then I decided to execute. I was like, yo, if I'm going to leave, this is what I'm going to do. And this is exactly how I did it.
Yeah. And I tell people that all the time. I'm like you said, it's cool just to get those instant moments where it's like, yo, I'm blowing up, I'm doing good, I got this big, but then it's like you can have those big moments, but then it's like you don't have the experience to back up that moment now. Like you don't have those experiences to back up those moments now, because you knew at this, so you just did it and you getting this big fame, this big hype for it, but now it's like there's no back catalog, there's no experience to do it. So now when everybody's coming to look at you and they coming for you and it's like, yo, I need to book Max studio time, but you're not fully equipped for it. Yeah. Because you had Snoop Dogg coming that first day you open.
Right.
So now everybody thinking like, oh shit, well he can handle this, he can do this, and it's like, yo, no, like I'm just starting off. Like I still got shit, you feel me? Like, so it's like those microwave blessings and those instant gratification moments, like they're cool, but you got to be able to sustain that. That's why I tell people, even with this, I never wanted a big blow up episode 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't want none of that. I wanted to build a back catalog. So when I do have that moment, now people can go back and look and be like, oh, okay, he got all this too? Like, they not just burnt out after the first 3 or 4 episodes. Because after that, once you just start and you have 3 or 4 episodes, then it's like, all right, well, that's all they got.
Yeah, where's the
like it's just like, because once again, people are so quick. We're fast-paced moving, you know. So, but
I agree with that, by the way, as far as having your catalog. I think that's something that's
content on content.
100%, because you want people to be able to, right? Like especially with everything, with the way in which today's technology is moving, right? It's all machine learning, meaning machines are learning from machines. They're getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter, right? And so and so the algorithm format of these social media platforms will help drive organic engagement.
Yes.
So if there's something specifically, that you are talking about or you are known for, then the more content that you have based around that, the better, because when people do start to find you, they're going to want to consume as much of it as they can. Right, that's the thing, is we live in a very in-demand world as well. That's why Netflix works, Hulu, that's why everything is all streaming now.
That's why Disney didn't work.
Well.
There's
We still love your shows.
there's a whole thing about that. But
Yeah.
we live in this very on demand